thought it was broke, but it was probably just doing the same thing.
Damn.
Yeah, boy, I was looking like an idiot out there doing it stupidly, though.
Damn,
all right, well, while everybody's tuning in, I'm going to check and make sure the audio's okay on the YouTubes.
Yeah, that one,
the tube views.
That one sounded fine on Facebook, but I'm trying to watch for comments there. Let me make sure to share this so we could get this going, man.
All right, there we go. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. You fixed it. We were having audio troubles, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Those who are tuned in. Chris, how you doing? Always a pleasure. That's Mr. Cook checking in.
The Cookie Monster.
I am gonna need those chickens, bro. It's been tough to get the coop finished. The coop's finished, but we need to finish the run. So don't give them to anybody else. I know how it is. I'm sorry. Sorry to be a flake.
Get this going, man.
But do you have anything on?
Is that a cook comment you're talking about? The chicken?
Yeah, because
he just said what it do. Do you see chickens in there?
Well, because we talk outside of the show, and
you guys are real life friends.
I'm trying to get some chickens from him, but I thought the chicken coop would be built by now. It's taking, you know how life goes. You think it's a 1-day project, it's a 2-week project.
So you're not just a social media friend with Chris Cook. You're a real friend. We used to be like that.
I'm not a social media friend with anybody. I'm either friends or he said the chickens be crying for their no papa. Yeah, how you had a little bit of a weird energy before you pulled in. You feeling any better now? You ready to have
I needed some
fun?
good laughs before the episode. I feel like we got those. Yeah, man, was definitely in a weird vibe, but we talked about it. I mean, that's sorry to the viewers. We didn't give any heads up at all about the show this week. Just count on, I mean, our plan is to do it every Thursday, 6 p.m.
And just so you guys know how dedicated I am, today is my daughter's 1-year birthday. And I'm here with you guys.
Well, I'm not going to say her name because people are crazy out there, but happy birthday to her.
Shout to her, man. If she ever watches this, once we get famous one day.
I'm going to need to send some onesies here. I'll come back with some onesies.
We're going to do something next week. It's just with everything going on and, family stuff and everything. So next weekend is when we're going to really celebrate. But I'm here with you guys, so I hope you appreciate that a little bit. We got some news stories to go through. I am going to do my segment about what I love about Joe Biden. I've been thinking a lot about it.
Nice. I can't wait to hear. I want to know, are they sarcastic or did you work to find stuff you actually like?
Just stay tuned and you'll find out. We have more of the media being a two-faced, double standard, hypocritical beast that picks and chooses when to apply its own rules, and more specifically Disney Plus having no spine and kowtowing to Twitter mobs. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. For those who don't know why I'm canceling my Disney Plus,
bro.
Well, we'll find out.
It was either do the mob who's going to cancel or do the other people who say they're going to cancel. But
I'm canceling. I promise you by next week. I'm going to cancel it when we finish this tonight. But we'll get into that. There were some other kind of funny news stories I had seen we can talk about. And then if you guys, we still have some questions we can go over.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much my game plan. You want to give the highlights real quick or? How you see things?
Yeah, no, that's pretty much what I have. I have some news stories. I have some old stuff that I wanted to talk about. That I got kind of reminded of. That I did stay true to my goal of not being on social media a lot. I researched some impeachment trial stuff, but other than that, I've been pretty good to not be on social media. It's been pretty refreshing too. It's been good. And yeah, I'm doing the right things with my time, which is cool. Found the last time that I wasn't on social media and tried not to be on, I just Googled a bunch of stuff. So I'd still be on web pages just reading dumb stuff. Like I knew everything going on with the Yankees, the Lakers, and the Raiders. It was ridiculous.
But still, that's better than having it fed to you by an algorithm.
Yeah, it was me Googling it, which is true for sure. And picking and choosing what I wanted to look at, and research was cool. Yeah, as long as I'm not ending up on just like Yahoo and Breitbart chains of just reading through their shit constantly. So yeah, we'll see, man. It's felt good to be off of it, but I do have just a couple funny things. But I'll let you start, man. I feel like I normally start with some type of news or something. So what you got? Preferably let's start with this hypocritical media.
You want to jump straight into that? We might spend 30 minutes on that.
Yeah, because I'm just going to ask questions. I don't have any input on it. I have no idea what you're even talking about.
So, I mean, most people probably have a good idea by now that Gina Carano, ex-MMA female hottie, current actress / blacklisted actress, recently made some abhorrent, for those of you listening,
I saw
quote unquote abhorrent.
Yeah, I didn't see what her comments actually were.
Comments. We'll look it up for accuracy. Deleted tweet, and I'll read it to you guys. So she made a tweet that I'm about to read. Twitter and others got very upset about this tweet and called for her to be fired. And rather quickly, she was fired.
Well, like Twitter or people on Twitter?
Oh yeah, it was a group of people on Twitter, not the organization.
The Twitter collective.
That's a fair question. The hive mind got together and had her canceled. So
nice.
That's the long and short version of it.
Not a huge fan
of
she
now
culture.
Doesn't have a job. That's great. That's an excellent way of teaching people that they've slightly offended you with something they said, is to take away their livelihood. But yeah, so I mean, what do you think about it? What do you have any? What's your gut reaction? Okay, you want to read it? Yeah. So I'm reading it from someone who's screenshotted it because she deleted everything.
Yeah.
So this is the beginning. Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. Sad face. There's a sad face. Quotes, because history is edited, most people today don't realize. So she's saying what someone else has said. Because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? End quote. I don't know whose quote that is. That's the post.
Okay.
She then deleted it. I don't know why. Maybe someone probably hit her up like it's a bad look or whatever. And
I feel like that always makes it look worse too.
It definitely probably, I think it's kind of like how Donald Trump just never backed it. Like, I'm just never going to give you an inch and you're never going to take it a mile. Like, I'm not going to back up and even say I'm sorry or I'm wrong, nothing. Or else if you show a weakness, they're going to jump on it. So yeah, I think you're right. Once you delete it, people are like, oh, she's already on her heels. We're going to get her. So, but that's the tweet. That was the abhorrent tweet.
And that's what I do want to know, like, how often do they really feel that way? Because I was thinking that, when we decided to apologize, was like, not apologizing for a lot of shit, I'm being honest, but I will apologize about how I felt when I watched it, right? Like, I will apologize for that. But if you really can say you feel that way, like, who cares? Dude, I've realized this, and before we get canceled, you really cannot. I know, like, what media fans and stuff is the black thing, but you cannot be racist to Jews. Like, if you are, and I don't mean this, you're not able to. I mean, like, if you say anything with Jews in a sentence, it is like, dude, you just need, like, you have to be canceled. Like, immediately, it's crazy. Because I just actually did a bunch of research, and I'll probably talk about it on a show about Israel and Palestine. I knew literally zero about that conflict. And so I researched it a ton this past week. So that'll probably be something I put on. But
yeah, bring that up.
It's the weirdest thing to me. Like, we've even given them money multiple times for the Holocaust. America. Twice.
Don't, bro.
Which is like, and that's what to me is, I don't understand that. And this is what you can't say, right? And this is where a lot of people get in trouble, because it goes to a stereotype, which is it's all about money. Anytime you say that, it's like it's about money and not other things. It's like it's more, it just adds to more anti-Semitic views. And so I'm just going to stay out of that.
Bro,
I'm just saying what I've recognized. It's like an Orthodox. Absolutely not.
I don't think I've ever met a Jew. I don't think they're in the Sacramento. and this is not even being racist. This is a true life experience. I don't think I know any Jews, any real like Jews that we would all consider Jews. I don't know, but apparently they run the world. And I'm trying to be careful because they're going to fire me from my job or something if they find out I'm questioning them. But
no, yeah, I don't. So, dude, I don't get it. That's what I will say. That. So, I mean, to answer just the bigger thing, if you've watched our show, you know I'm not a huge cancel culture person. I do believe in, and Obama had a good quote about this most recently that I could remember was, if we're all held to a standard of our worst mistakes, then we all deserve to be canceled. Like, I mean, there's so much stuff you do, and I get it. Like, you're famous, you're out there, you can't just say whatever you want. I do think there are repercussions, even to words, but to the point we've made it now. Like, it's not we've made it past, like, if you offend the majority, then you deserve to be canceled too. If you offend a person, you deserve to be fired is crazy. And it can't even be a majority anymore because you could find a majority, which, I mean, we overuse that like crazy, but you could find a majority of people who feel that way and you'll get fired or let go. And a lot of times it's just the pressure of it, which to me is crazy, man. And like, you're going to legit fire her from Star Wars?
I mean,
what?
And I like where you're going, but just let me clarify something. Like, do you find the post offensive?
No, because I'm an active Twitter user who sees literally on average, if I'm on there as much as I had been, I would probably see no less than 50 tweets worse than that in a day.
So
that's not even from people I follow. That's just retweets and stuff. So, and then if I even add famous people, I would imagine I'm seeing 2 of those a week. I mean, and not everyone. That's what I do think. I think the cancel culture seeming to be from one side makes it worse too. But that's what the majority is. They're the hive that controls Twitter right now.
But I mean, so I want to go on record and say that one, I'm not, because like it looks like she shared an image, or like I don't even think this was her saying it. Maybe you could look it up and look at the tweet or whatever. Yeah. But like I think she was sharing another post. But that notwithstanding, I mean, it seems to be, and then this is the ironic, the sick part of it all is they prove that her tweet was accurate by firing her for having ideas they don't agree with. Like they prove her right by saying or by canceling her. So
that could be true, right? Though, I mean, you as a person could fire whoever you want based on not sharing those same beliefs. The problem is you didn't do that because you don't share those beliefs. You did that because you were pushed by the hive. If they came out and they were like, this isn't because people had an issue with it, or this is like how I felt when I read it was this, it would be different, right? But that's not it. Like, we know why you did it.
Well, yeah, because I mean, so someone else brought this up, but it's an interesting point. The guy who plays the Mandalorian in 2018 said, "This is America," and shared a picture of a Jewish concentration camp. Obviously, he was at the time criticizing Trump and allegedly, I don't know his point. So he can obviously maybe the war. I don't know what they find offensive, but it's definitely odd that one side can call the other side's leader Nazi, Hitler, and his supporters fascist. No problem, no recourse, to your point of it being one-sided. So, yeah, I don't know. I definitely think it's odd. Disney Plus lost my business for being suckers, but I can't even imagine how it's offensive. But, yeah.
Yeah, man, that's and you could find offense in a lot of things, but if it's now everything you can find offensive is going to be offensive, you could get people fired for it. I can't see how that's a fireable offense. I mean, we're just getting crazier and crazier. It's like that example I always give about dogs. Like, we're going to get to a point where it's like, You had your dogs on leashes. You crate trained your dog. You are just the worst, Grandpa. Papa, you're the worst.
But because everyone wants to be sent and let these people, this realistically out of 100 people, I can't even guess, unfortunately. I would say it's probably 10 or less fall into this category of like believe in canceling people. I could be wrong. Maybe it's more. But like the other 90% of us are like, keep our head down, hope they don't turn it on me, and let it happen. Like let everybody get steamrolled to let these people who are most likely children go off and do whatever they want.
Though, that's like in that same speech, Obama talked about that. That's what he even said too, is like, you're not an advocate. Like you're not an advocate of justice when you're just, and this is kind of even to go to Michael's comment, because he said, you know, a lot of people feel like court of public opinion is a workaround for failure in our justice system. It's like you're just standing behind your keyboard, not even using your actual name on your Twitter, causing justice. Like how? Like how are we saying that's justice? Like you getting to just be some random person. Like there's a reason why felons can't do certain stuff, right? Like, and not to say they shouldn't be able to do a lot of things.
Like they shouldn't be able to have a Twitter. Is that what?
But like a murderer shouldn't just be on a murder jury, right?
Okay. I see what you're saying.
And that's why, like, we have people who don't have a name; they're just faceless out there, and they're causing the cancel too. So if we're letting anyone, and not even from our country, so if we're just letting everyone partake in the canceling, I just can't see that that's the right direction to go. But my thing is, it's not even that; it's that we're canceling things for less and less and less stuff. Like you mean to tell me? You mean to tell me? You threw a dodgeball off a girl's face when you were in 4th grade?
How do you know that?
Criminal. You should go to jail. That's assault. You can't run for election like that. That's where I would go against like what Michael was saying, is that it's just, yeah. And he's agreeing here too. It's just getting out of control like crazy. So that's my opinion. But that's another thing it's like, you're not the one that would find that offensive because you're not Jewish. It's like, you're right. And I can't say that's not offensive to Jews because
you don't know their experience. You don't know what it's like to be a Jew in 2021.
They obviously were crying about it, right?
I doubt it. I doubt it.
Oh, no. The one I was on Deadline, and the first comment they posted was someone saying, you don't know what my people went through. So,
was saying that
as a race. Dude, I do not. I got to research just Judaism in general. I don't understand the race plus the religion thing. Dude, I don't get. I'll admit on air, I am very ignorant to it. And I said I've done some research. I'll do more before next week because, yeah,
I want to make more jokes, bro. But I don't.
Yeah, you're gonna get canceled.
I'm afraid. I'm kind of because that's really the sinister part to me, is that like once you've gotten people to censor themselves. Like to where, like once you've effectively, because I was arguing with our ex-producer about this earlier, because he took out opposing. So his take, and maybe this would be interesting, he's like, I think they shouldn't have canceled her, but I think she should have been smart enough to keep her mouth shut, which is a fair point. Mm-hmm. Should probably be said.
That's that, and I wanted to talk about that on the show too. It's like, how much stuff have you not said or done because you're like, that's a bad look, you know, it's just a bad look. And that's what, like, we don't force other people to do that. We're like, yeah, but you shouldn't like say they shouldn't be able to do anything, even though we live our life in a way where we like watch what we say and do. And we're not even in the spotlight. So
yeah, but bro, I mean,
the thing though, is when you're doing that in a way, like what she was saying was to rile people up though. I mean, admit that this isn't like, I'm just sharing my opinion real quick. She's sharing her opinion that she knows.
Did you find it?
That I couldn't tell because how they posted.
Yeah, I couldn't either. That's what the part was confusing me. If
not that, it's just that
you think she was trying to purposefully be provocative
based on what the subject of her tweet was. It would be ignorant to say she didn't know what she was doing, right? Like she's even saying in her tweet, like you even said, it's like people with opposing views will cancel you. It's like, were you doing that to prove your point? Because you were even stating that that's what they do.
That's pretty meta. It's pretty meta that you want some? Yeah. That she got canceled for talking about being canceled. But
yeah, which is also maybe her thing is like, there's no way they cancel me in a tweet I'm talking
it's
about.
Like one of those ones where it's like, I have such good juice on the Clintons that they can't kill me because it'll prove that and then they kill you.
And you're like, what? Yeah, exactly.
Right. How did I get to heaven so quick? So,
but it is, dude. It's a collective. Like, if the director, and I don't know if this is a thing, right? But like, if the director of Mandalorian comes out and he's like, "Yo, that's BS," is Disney going to keep her or the director, right? So like, there's more things that could go into it, which I don't. Like I said, I didn't even read it.
So how like. Well, here's what though. This would be the smart thing to do, and
why would they not show me the truth?
I've already kind of seen some of it coming out. Is to be like, no, we already weren't going to bring her back. I haven't watched season 2. I thought that show was trash. That's personal.
Oh yeah, you're tripping. That shit is great,
garbage. But
fantastic. So yeah, you don't even have it. So you were already going to cancel Disney Plus. You're just using this as your
no, because the kids watch Frozen and all of that stuff on there. So. I'm making a small sacrifice for the call, but like, imagine, bro, if you work at a job, you have coworkers. Imagine if your boss came in and was like, yo, we had to let so-and-so go because they were putting stuff on their social media. And you looked it up and it was really mild. Like, what do you do? Like, it's a messed up system where you can't.
Oh, it wasn't even on Twitter. It was an
Instagram post?
Yeah, that's what it looks like, an Instagram story. Unless this is a Twitter story. I didn't update my Twitter for stories because that looks dumb.
Either way, doesn't it look like she's sharing someone else's, though?
Oh, no, she definitely is.
So she's sharing someone else's thing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But when you share something, you're saying you agree with the post, though. So
yeah, but it's not even her thought. And who knows? She could have just taken a Xanax, bro. She could have been on sleeping pills. Like, we're going to fight. Like,
well, say that. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever, man. That's crazy to me. But RG had a point. Like, I know when to keep my mouth shut. More people should know when to keep their mouth shut. But at the same time, I don't think people should be threatened into keeping their mouth shut. I think it's crazy. And I've been around more and more people lately who like low key try and censor what I say. And it's like, I find it to be, not perverse. It doesn't sit well with me, I guess, is the best way of saying it. Like,
well, how do you feel that you do that to yourself in ways? Does that differ just because it's coming from someone else?
That upsets me too, bro.
Oh, when you do that, when you're like, yo, I gotta watch. I shouldn't talk about this.
There's certain.
I'm not saying that. I just mean that's a conversation we have as people who do the show, right? Like,
yeah, but so like as adults, we have to have context. We have to be careful, right? Me and you, without a camera, can have a certain conversation about certain things. And maybe that's the 100% truth of how we feel. Now, if one of the people who maybe, was around who would take it as offensive, true or not, just you have tact, you have grace or class, whatever, like, yeah. I'll sit this one out. So on social media, it seems like that just gets lost on both sides. Like, I can't say anything to you on social media, assuming that all the people who could find it offensive won't see it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But at the same time, do they have the right to look at it and say that was said in a way to offend me? Because kind of like it doesn't. I guess really what I'm saying, like, does intent have any value? Like, what did you intend to do? I don't know. So yeah. Oh, and Michael has a point. I mean, she's probably taken some head trauma over the years. She took a pretty brutal beating from Chris Cyborg back in 2012. Could it be some CTE?
Man, yeah, man. I'm personally the canceling is going too far. I can't. Like, really? Like that? There's just so much worse things said like that. And especially not. And I do agree with you to not actually be like, this isn't an interview. You didn't actually say this. You shared a post. That does mean you agree with, but you didn't say those words.
And the post that she shared, it's not offensive. Like,
well, to you, you're not Jewish though, so you can't say it's not offensive, right?
I can say it's not offensive to me.
That is fair though, but you can't say it's not offensive.
So it's not. I never say it's not offensive.
Oh no, you can. You can though, for sure, right? I mean, if they're talking about it's offensive to Black people, you could say it's not offensive, right? That's not offensive. I mean, people could say it may not be offensive to you, but in this case, I mean, we're talking about something that has to do with Jewish people, and you're claiming it's not offensive. But it's a little weird,
but
right?
She's not actually saying anything about Jews.
What's offensive to women may not be.
But she's not talking about Jews. She's talking about Nazis.
Well, that's what they're comparing. She's comparing Jewish people to Trump supporters.
No, she's comparing Nazis to
Well, how's that
liberals.
any different from hating someone for their political views? So
because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews.
Gotcha.
That she's not saying the Jews deserved it.
Yeah, no, but how is that any different? Finish the last one. How is that any different? So if you already said she's calling liberals Nazis, then who would be the Jews in this segment? Someone would have to be the Jews.
I'm sorry.
So that's more what I meant. Yeah.
So it's offensive that she used an allegory that Jews are related to conservatives.
Yeah, I mean, or you could read it the opposite way, because if you're saying that liberals hate conservatives, then you could say conservatives hate liberals, right? So I guess that could be read either way. But no, that's more what I was meaning. I think that's how they took it offensive. Is like you're saying like supporting Trump and having Trump, and that's how I'm assuming they read it. Maybe it is just conservatives, but I'm assuming she was going the Trump way is why they found it. But let's just call it conservative to go the best way. But so if she's saying, yo, like having conservative views is just like being Jewish, I'm sure that's what they're saying. It's like you're not going through nearly, whereas what she was saying is like, I'm telling you what could happen if we keep going the same way. They're reading it as like you're saying being a conservative is equal to be treating how Jews were treated by the Nazis.
I get. So if you take this post at face value, I don't see how it has anything to do with Jews. She's not talking about Jews. She's talking about fascist government, specifically Nazis. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't want to get into that thin nitpicking of it.
Yeah.
But like,
I think
we all have done reading
like
comprehension. Like, if you substitute Bill for John, then this person, like, if you read it, it's like.
But if I like share a post where I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna lie, keeping me an hour after my shift is over is modern day slavery. This is just like what they went through traveling on them slave ships. Like, it's easy to see how that could be offensive to people who have a great-grandparent who was a slave, right? Someone that was not that far. Like, I could get it.
So this is the thing. You're comparing the slaves. What it would be more like is like, my manager's working me like a slave owner. Or like something like that. Like, my manager thinks I work on a plantation. Oh, like, that's what she's not saying. I'm a slave. She's saying my manager thinks he's a slave owner, which I see. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if we want to split hairs. I don't.
Yeah. But she mentions Nazis and Jews. I feel like you're acting like Jews isn't mentioned, and it's mentioned like 4 times in one sentence.
Yeah, but okay.
That's more what I because you're saying like she's not even mentioning Jews, but that's what the whole post is about.
The post is not about Jews. The post is about. So who suppressed people? The Jews?
No, the Nazis.
So she's talking about being suppressed. So she's talking about.
So she's comparing herself. She's comparing herself to a Jew. She's comparing her struggle of working for Disney to being a Jew in a concentration camp.
How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? So that's the punchline, right?
Yeah. So how is being a Nazi? So that's what you're saying. How is being a Nazi any different than being a liberal right now? Is what she's saying.
So I'm saying the punchline is to say Nazis could round up Jews because they made their neighbors hate them. So, i.e., if you just plug and play, right, you would say that the government or whoever can persecute conservatives because they've made us hated people. So, again, I mean, now we've just analyzed this to death, but whatever, who cares? It just doesn't even seem like it's about Jews. But like you said, maybe people think that she's unfairly equalizing them and whatever. But
yeah, that's like how Michael said it. It's like how I was looking at it. Like, I think she's saying both. She's saying liberals are suppressing conservatives like Nazis suppressed Jews.
And that's offensive.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, to a Jewish person, if you're saying like a modern conservative is going through what Jews went through.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I just read this 7 times and I didn't take that out of there, but maybe someone did.
But I mean, that is fair to say though, right? I mean, that's a huge issue. Like, I guess that's why I want to know where you stand there. It's like, could you really be and this is an issue I always thought was crazy. It's like you read like Ben Shapiro and like these dudes who are like middle-aged, not even middle, but like younger white dudes saying how white privilege isn't a thing. Like, really? I mean, like, how are you the professional to speak on that? And this is like what we talked about, wrong message or right message, wrong messenger. It's like that could even be true per se. But I do feel like there's some things that like you can say, I don't understand how that's offensive, but to say that's not offensive when you're not the demographic that it would be offensive to, I feel like is a weird take to have. Like, that's not offensive to women. Like, how do you know? You're not.
Yeah, no, of course. I can't say anything. That's my point.
But that's why I'm trying. Like, there has to be a middle, and that's where I think you should be able to say, like, I can't. Which is a good stance you have, which is I don't see how that could be offensive.
Right, but even I won't even press that part of it. I'll even back up and give you a stronger point to say, like, we can read something and say, like, any reasonable person would not, like, this is, I can't imagine a reasonable person truly being, actually, this is the real question. What does it mean to be offended?
I don't know. Do you want the definition?
No, because to me, someone can say something that might slightly make me uncomfortable, and I'm not like, I'm offended. But that's me. So that's why I'm trying to, like, maybe my definition is wrong, and that's why we don't see eye to eye. Like, to you, what would it take for you to be offended by something?
Oh, yeah, there's a scale for sure. I mean, there's some things that could offend me that don't get a reaction, and then there's things that offend me that do.
I mean, just general, like, I mean,
oh, yeah, you call me the N-word or something, for sure. You call my mom any type of name outside of her name, that's probably not mom or some form of that, or aunt or something, that would offend me. But like some random person.
Someone on Twitter. Have you ever read a tweet and you were offended?
Yeah, probably, but not. I'm the wrong person to ask that because I'm not a action guy. I don't write reviews. I don't do any of that.
But were you offended?
Yeah.
So I would assume you're a reasonable guy. And like you found offense in something, so like using that same standard, like if you were Jewish, would you be offended by this? Using the same standard of what offended you personally.
Oh no, because I don't assign my offense to other people, and that's what a lot of people do now. They're like, I'm offended on behalf of people, which is weird. I don't really do that. So no, there's not too much. Like, you really have to offend me personally. Because I mean, in that case, that's what I more mean is like, as like how is that offensive to modern Jewish people? Your family members, right?
Like, and I want to admit that you have a point, because you're 100% right. And even though it doesn't offend me, these types of things where white people will be like, there hasn't been slaves in 200 years or whatever. You can't feel a certain way. Like, personally, I don't really feel a certain way about it, but I take your point. Like, well, you're not really the guy who gets to decide, and that's a fair criticism to say to me. So I mean, we're kind of talking about this a little bit intellectually now.
But it's good.
Left reality a little bit, and we're just having fun. But
back to the beginning, just to bring this full circle, to fire someone for something that someone can find offensive is, I mean, are we going to fire everybody? And that's where it goes into your hypocrisy part. Is like, we could find stuff on every person like that. I imagine, especially with Twitter now, I mean, they will accidentally like something and they'll get canceled out of that. And as someone who would be on Twitter, it's easy to accidentally like something too. So I don't know, man. And that's what, like,
I knew this one was going to run hella long. That's why I was surprised you wanted to bring it up first.
With Michael, man, with Michael's opinion, that's kind of more how I would stand on it. It's like, I could see even myself being Jewish being offended by it. Probably not. I feel like I would be a funny Jewish person, so I probably would just laugh about a lot of stuff. But in this case, like, I can see being Jewish being offended by it, but like going to cancel someone is crazy.
So, yeah. And this is the last thing I'm going to say about it. We'll move on to something funner. It's interesting because I think it's kind of interesting to get into this type of stuff. But,
yeah, I like it.
But I'm going to reread it one more time, because this is where I think people, when things are hot, they are just like, your just natural reaction is to get heated, right? I mean, and that's fair. I'm not, because again,
I'm working on my anger. You don't have to bring it up on air. We can talk about it later. I'm working on it.
But so because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them. It goes on. But that seems to be like, if the end was a punchline, this is the setup. So like, yeah, like Jews are in there. The name got said one time, but her point is more us getting used against each other. That's what maybe that's because that's how I look at the world. That's how I take it. But I think it's pretty clear that's what she's trying to say. So then, like, I don't know. I don't know. Never mind. I just don't see it as like, I don't think it's about Jews at all. I truly don't think she read that and was like, I feel I'm a Jew. I've been prosecuted. Because she didn't say it. Like, it'd be one thing to say like the modern conservative is more persecuted than 1930s and 40s Jews. That would be offensive. Maybe.
So you don't believe you can say something without saying it directly? I feel like it's what you're saying there.
This is why I'm asking about intent. Do you think that the intent of this post is to directly compare modern conservatives and 1930s and 40s Jews?
Yeah, right. For the wow factor of it. You don't think so?
Not at all.
Why use Jews then? Or Nazis even?
What's the
because they're trying to get the extreme example. That's why you use Nazis.
Well, I mean, what example would you use?
Exactly, right? Like, you either have to use this extreme example here or say it in your own words. But you compared it to, like, so you're saying it's okay to use Nazis in the example.
So, but it's okay to call Donald Trump a Hitler. Wouldn't that, so in that situation, can I not imply that they're calling everyone who he doesn't like Jews? Oh, so you don't think you can say something without saying it? Like, I don't say people just say shit that I don't know if they're trying to say it.
So even though they said Jews multiple times in this one,
but they're not saying that they're.
But it said, Sony, you just gave me an example where I didn't mention Jews, and you're comparing that to where they mentioned Jews.
All right, we'll go. I can come up and like
3 times. So 3 different times they mentioned Jews in this one post, and you're saying she didn't say Jews.
No, I'm not saying.
Oh, you're saying she doesn't mean Jews, even though the post says Jews.
I'm saying she's talking about Nazis.
And
who did Nazis attack?
And Jews.
Who did Nazis attack?
But no,
so should she say the Nazis beat up Chinese people?
No. She's not talking about Nazis. She's talking about Nazis and Jews. The first word of her post is what? Please tell me. Would you assume she's talking about Nazis?
We agreed the punchline is how is that any different? She's not talking about Jews being oppressors, right?
No, but she could be talking about Jews being the victims.
Oppressors.
Or victims.
Okay.
Right? I mean, so you're telling me this isn't about Jews, but what is the first word of this post? Let's just end there. What's the very first word of this post?
It's Jews.
But she doesn't talk about Jews.
I'm not. Okay.
You said she's not talking about
basketball Jews. Is kind of like something else and go on and talk about black people or whatever. Does it mean I have to be talking about basketball? Like,
if you mention it 3 different times, you're talking about. You can't say that you're not talking about basketball.
We're doing the same thing we did a couple weeks ago, and this shit's boring as fuck and retarded. I don't understand.
I mean, that doesn't seem crazy that you're saying she's not talking about Jews in a post that has Jews mentioned 3 times.
This is her question. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? Would you agree that that's the point of this statement? Or no? Or what do you think is the point?
Yeah, but what's the last sentence before then? The government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any like that? I can't understand how this could not be about Jews more than
because it's about the government who made them hate each other. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views?
So you don't even think this is about conservatives?
I mean, she says, how is that any different? Obviously, I'm assuming she's a conservative. So from her perspective, obviously, I'm not going to try and bail out of it. But I'm saying, like, if I'm reading the post, how is that any different from hating someone for their political views? And that doesn't have nothing to do with Jews. It's just
so it doesn't have anything to do with Nazis either.
It would have to do with the people right before who she says dehumanized these people and made them hate each other.
Well, I feel like based on your argument, you're saying this is about liberals and conservatives. It's not even about Nazis and Jews. Because I feel like if you're saying it's not about Jews, you can't say it's about Nazis either. Right? I mean,
so the government, this is my reading of it. The government first made their neighbors hate them, right? The rest is like, remember when
the government, it's not Nazis. It's not Nazis.
When you you take one of those tests and it gives you a bunch of useless information at the beginning, then it gives you the important part and then useless information. And you have to say, like, what was this about? Do you remember those tests? Yeah. If you read this and like, what was this about?
So then,
I would be like, it's about the government who made them hate their neighbors.
So then I feel like that's the stance you should take, is that it's not even about Nazis, but you're saying it is about Nazis. It's not about Jews. And it's also about liberals and conservatives. I feel like that can't be the case. It either has to be about Nazis, Jews, liberals, and conservatives, or liberals or whatever, government and conservatives, right? I mean, I don't understand how you're only removing Jews from the equation here.
So I'm not, all right, let me be specific. She's talking about Nazis and Jews. That's the metaphor, right?
Yeah, okay,
the analogy.
Then there metaphor. We are. Cool. I feel like there was a disconnect there.
But I can say if a bear shits in the woods, then this, like, oh, he's talking about bears. Like, no, he's talking about the second part. That's what you use metaphors to talk about something else.
Yes. Okay. So, like I said,
so you're right. We can talk about the last sentence is a metaphor.
So we can talk about conservative or government and liberals, right? I agree. But you're saying Nazis is a part of this, right? So if the metaphor is what it's about and it's not about what the first metaphor was, then Nazis aren't even a part of it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you're keeping Nazis as a part of it while removing Jews, where I'm saying you should remove both of those if we're saying what you're using as the metaphor doesn't matter, because we're talking about government versus conservatives, right? I'm fine with that. That argument I'm on your same page with. So then the post isn't about Nazis either. It's just about government and conservatives, right? That's what we're agreeing with. That post has nothing to do about Nazis or Jews. It's a metaphor used for government conservatives.
All right, I need a whiteboard because I don't even know what I'm trying to say anymore. And honestly, I don't care. So I want to learn about Israel and Palestine, though. Did you learn anything?
I did not. I said I'll bring it next time. Oh, yeah, sorry. Analogy.
What did I say? Metaphor?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I think I said both. I think I said analogy earlier, but I definitely was wrong the second time. What was the other thing we were going to talk about? Were we only going to talk about Gina Carano the whole time?
No, you had other. You want to go into? Is it funny at least? Why you hate Joe Biden or why you like Joe Biden? All right, I will talk about this. So this is an older story. Did you see the pay it forward Starbucks challenge thing they're doing? They've done it a couple times. I guess they did it in 2014. I think they did either at the beginning of this year or they did. It was like the beginning of this year or end of last year. They did a Starbucks thing. If you don't know what pay it forward is someone does something good for you, you do something good for someone else. If you haven't watched that movie, super sad movie, one of the first movies, like human movies, so not animated, that made me tear up. Good movie. But so that's what it's about. So in Starbucks, they did this thing. They ended up making it 11 hours, 457 people paying it forward was like the record that they had done. So people were buying stuff. Hey, don't worry about it. It was already purchased by the person in front of you. Do you want to continue that? People kept saying yes and going forward and forward. A dude broke it and said, like, the lady like questioned him about it, was like, what? Like, everyone's been doing it. You're not going to do it? And he was like, no, like, I'm getting one drink. I'm not doing it. And got his drink. Was like, I'll pay for my own. And broke the chain. So I'll start there. I'll give you more information I learned later. But first, how do you feel about that? Like, how do you think you would react in that?
So it's at Starbucks and it's just like paying for the next person's thing.
Yeah. Even if you're solo and it's a family behind you.
Yeah, I would quickly look behind me
and see if you're going to take part.
Yeah. There's probably, there's decent odds I probably wouldn't do it. Actually, you know what? If you're caught up in the things like, look, we got 4,000 going, I'd be like, bro, you do it then.
Hey, how about you pay for it and you act like it? Yeah, man, that's
like, hey, you're so attached to it. You pay for this one then.
So when I first read it, I didn't like it because and this is maybe me being a pessimist. I think it's me being a realist. There's no way that many people did it without minimum half people doing it out of guilt. Half, I would assume. And so that for me was where I was like, I didn't really like it, man. And not that I like, cool, do it if you want to do it. I think a lot of people probably did it out of that guilt. And I think some people probably did it into the uncomfortable realm. I think some people did it when they probably couldn't even afford to do it. And in some cases, man, come on, that many orders, some people were paying probably a high price for some of those bills when they didn't get close to that because they got their little tea. You know, that to me is crazy. So that was the first thing where I was like, oh man, I don't know what I'd do. But I'm telling you, I will not do what the dude who broke the chain did, because I was like, yeah, like I feel him. I would have did that. I feel where that guy's coming from. No, he saw it was going on, drove all the way to the location to purposely break it. But when I read the initial news story, it's about how this dude was like, yo, nah, like she even hounded me about it. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm just getting my one coffee. He was like, but I did tip them. Like, I'm not trying to be a Grinch. So I tipped them. He said he tipped them $100, his word. He didn't show any proof, but he tipped them $100. But he drove all the way to the location, which I don't know how many miles, but clearly wasn't the closest location, just to break the chain. And I was like, okay, that's a different type of hater right there. But he said he did it. He was like, man, and for the reason I talked about, he was like, man, I just feel like you're guilting in people doing this. And that's what I didn't like about it either, because I do think pay it forward should be a choice that you make. You know, I don't think that, and that's what it sounded like. It's like the lady was kind of like, hey, everyone's doing this. Do you want to do it? And I don't even think that's how pay it forward's even, where it's like asking people to do it, right? I think paying it forward is, hey, someone is taking part in this pay it forward. They decided to pay for your drink. And if the person's like, oh, that's awesome, or what's pay it forward? Yeah,
bro, exactly. Because she didn't sell it. I was like, oh yeah, thank you. Drive off.
That's it. Be like, that's super cool. Or maybe do a look.
Maybe you have a 50-50 chance. Like, put $5 on the next part. Take the money I would have paid
and get
enroll it.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Something like that, but and that's why I was like, oh, so they're, in my eyes, they're both wrong. Like the dude going out of his way because he sees this cool news story, goes and breaks an 11-hour chain at 4:57. You're like, come on,
dude. That's pretty funny. And I'm trying to think of what I had something funny and I didn't have enough time to write it down. It was dang it, man. Because they do always get me at Panda Express when I would go in person, and it's like, you want to donate your change? I would always just like, yes.
I usually do. I hate having the change just going around in my pocket.
Well, even if you're paying with the card, it's like, you want to round it up for the St. Jude's Hospital? It's
like, I send that to my savings.
Yeah, just take it. And then they ring the like, and that's how I say it.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not going to do it if you're going to put me on the spot. We got 11 cents on register. Also, speaking of that, do you follow the rule where you never park at a gas pump that's super high because you don't want to put less money in your gas tank than the pump?
Is that a thing?
Yeah, you don't want to be at pump 11 putting $5 bad luck for your car.
5 on 11.
Can I get $11 on 5? Dude, I handed you a $5 bill. Come on, That's why I always park at the one pump. It's going to be hard not to put $1 in.
Always going to beat that.
I remember when I used to have to do that, man. It's funny to laugh about that, because we've come away from that. But I remember being like, guess the tank's about to get this cool $4 because your boy's getting a couple McDoubles or, double cheeseburgers back then. I'm going to get me a McChicken and a double cheeseburger today. And you just had to scrounge it out like.
Those habits die hard though, bro. Oh, only recently did I start filling my car up.
I fill it up
for the longest time. It would be like, oh, like I'd drive up and be like, oh, gas is $3.19. I'll put $5. Like, all right, put 16, put 15, 16 bucks. Like it was just on principle. I don't know. Yeah, sorry, I've been zoning out a couple times, but that just recently I'm just like let her run till I hear it like click, and then usually I go out and check and it just clicked after like 4 gallons. I'm like, God damn it, and you gotta But yeah, then you jump. There is a weird feeling about when you jump in and you see the gas go, and it hits that full
when
mark.
It's over the
like, bro, I'm living good, bro. I'm living so good.
They should have never gave you money. Seriously, man. That feels good. That's a refreshing thing. That's really a refreshing thing to do. That's them first world problems right there, bro. I didn't have enough gas. I didn't have enough money for gas. Dude, being in a place where you don't have to ask people for gas money or like lose a friendship over gas money is a blessing. Yeah, I've almost lost a couple friendships over.
You really gonna ask for gas money, bro? Like, dog, like it's 20 miles to get there. That's $5. It's but
I've been on the other. I've also been on the other side where it's like, hey, yo, you trying to go with me somewhere? And like, yeah, hey, you got gas though? Like, bro, we're going to the same place. You were already going there. No, I don't. And usually I will just out of, courtesy. But that to me used to be the wildest things. So yeah, man, it's one of those cool things to just know you don't got to trip on somebody over something like that. Like, bro, you got to have some gas. And I've been given some, like pick somebody up like, oh, I got gas for you. Showed up and they gave me a Gatorade. Like, get the fuck out of my car. Sorry. Excuse my language. Get out of my car. What is happening right now? Dude, yeah. I mean, we're lucky, man. We're lucky in a way to not worry about that.
Amen, bro. I've been blessed. The most blessed man. But yeah, back to your Starbucks thing. Yeah, I don't know what I would do. I wonder if it would work at like, because here's another thing about on top of having like that top sales girl put pressure on everybody, like not everybody, but like, bro, if you got $5 a day to spend on Starbucks, you're probably not hurting, and like you probably have a decent odds of like participating, especially depending on the area. Like out in Granite Bay, Starbucks, probably you'd rack them up. But like, what about a Taco Bell off Watt? How far are you getting?
The Taco Bell off Watt don't even be having beans, bro. That Taco Bell off Elkhorn and Watt is criminal, bro. And the worst, you know what's really bad about it? You ever showed up somewhere and they say something, you're like, that's why I don't be coming here. I've done that legit 4 times there because I go there so rarely. That one especially is where I've been there, and I'm like, it sounds like I'm joking. I've been there where they haven't had beans, they haven't had meat, they've had 0 sauces.
These are 3 different times, or this was
3 different times.
Okay.
Where like you'll show up and you'll be like, let me get that. They're like, oh, sorry, we don't have taco meat today. Why are you open?
I've been there and they said they didn't have shells. Swear.
Why are you open? Oh yeah, I know that's the other one. It was like we don't have hard shells now. Yeah. You can get a soft taco. I'm gonna get that one. Was with something that might have been with beans. They were like, but you can get a soft taco with no beans.
What do you think happened that day? Do you think like they called the manager like, hey, we need to get the order in for the hard shells, and like he's going through a tough time?
He's like, I just got them. I ate them. I had them in my truck. I sat in the back of the truck listening to Mario Winans just eating shells.
Like, bro, they always want shells, bro. They're calling for these shells, bro. They need to eat these soft shells. I've been buying these. I throw away 10,000 soft shells a month.
There's always like, where's the hard shells? No one's asking about my hard times.
Nobody ever calls me to just see if I'm doing all right.
They always watching my GPS talking about you're going a little slower than normal. No one asked me why. They don't know tears are blurring my
Nobody
vision.
Ever cares about me. They want their beans, though.
Oh, man.
They don't think about me this time.
Dude, I would. Bree said, no Popeyes. One night, all they had was sides, no chicken. You are closed. It is Popeyes chicken. You need to close your establishment, dude.
That's a good point, though. What if it's an employee like, bro, if we don't say nothing about the chicken, they're going to have to close and send us home. Like, don't say nothing.
How mad were you? You just threw a bunch of chicken.
We're out of chicken, but just tell everybody they get a free
And so now you're in awkward situations all the time. Like, now we don't even have all the sides. So we have no mashed potato. We have no macaroni and cheese. We got no beans. So we got dry biscuits and our fountain's out. So you're just going to give people dry biscuits and call it a dry biscuit challenge, the Popeye's chicken or biscuit challenge, and go from there.
And then you pull up, like, can I at least get a honey? Like, nah, we're out of those. How many biscuits get thrown back in?
That's only for, even worse, that's only for when you order chicken. Like, I can't order chicken. I can't get honey. Dude, fast food is crazy, man. That is the one thing in that, except for this $15 an hour thing, it feels like we've collectively understood what fast food is. Like, no one really gets too mad about stuff. No, it's just like, we accept that. We know what we get. And I lied. I've been to almost every time I go to fast food, there's someone in there tripping on somebody. Dude, I went to Chipotle. They ran out of cheese on this lady's menu. So I didn't even get cheese because she was like having them like dump the bucket onto her stuff. She was like, you don't have any more than that? I want more than that. And they were like, no, like, we don't have any. That's what we told you. This is the last of it. She was like, okay, cool. Gets up to the front. Like, they didn't talk about anything. She gets up to the front and was like, oh, is that with the discount? And they were like, what discount? She was like, well, you guys don't have what I wanted. And they were like, what do you mean? She was like, you guys don't have cheese. I wanted extra cheese. They were like, well, do you get cheese at all? And she was like, yeah, I have some cheese on there, but I didn't get the cheese I wanted, so I get a discount, right? They were like, no, that's not how it works. Like, if you just show up here and we're out of carne asada, like, you don't get to just be like, well, if you don't have carne asada, I drove all the way here, so give me what I want. And she was like super confused about it. Like, how are you not going to comp me my meal when you didn't give me exactly what I wanted, even though you told me you didn't have that item? And it blew my mind that people are that way normally, because I've had the craziest luck going into places lately. That's why I always go to places with drive-thrus if I can, especially Panda the Expresses. I go to the drive-thru ones because I've been having the crazy, like, people dealing with the dumbest thing where I'm like, how am I, like, how are you still putting your card upside down and saying chip malfunction and the chip is right next to you? I'm looking at the chip. It's on your side. Chip malfunction. And then it's worse. And that's my fault. There's sometimes I just mind my own business. I'm like, that's between you and the cashier. I don't work here. Maybe they should tell you. And no, they'll do it multiple. People are the worst. Michael says Arby's is the worst because they always have their roast beef.
Oh, somebody hit me up.
They got all the stuff they have on their menu all the time.
Brandon Davenport, I don't know if he Instagrammed me or how he sent it to me, but he sent me a video. He was driving and he drove past the Arby's and there was a line of cars all the way around. It was packed. So
dude, that one on what is that? Willerga? That one right there has been popping lately.
The question is, are they selling roast beef or something else?
I don't know. Someone told me those au jus gravy dip roast beef sandwiches are good, man. So they've now got to the point where they just have a stigma that I won't go there. Because that was a thing in high school. I remember senior year, we used to tell everybody going to Arby's for our dinner before prom. Hey, everybody meet us at Arby's. And that just became a thing. So like I just built this negative connotation against Arby's that just now won't allow me to go there because I feel like I'm going to have like the guy from Family Guy pop out and call me a phony when I'm in there. Look at him. He's a phony. You're a phony.
When I was a kid, we ate a lot of Arby's, but back when the roast beef sandwiches were 5 for $5.55. I don't know if you remember that. And I remember I would throw because they give you horseradish sauce and Arby's sauce and you'd mix it together and it was like spicy.
Oh, dude, horseradish sauce. That just like, it hits my nose and sinuses in a way that I can't eat it. It's weird. Anytime I try to eat it, it's like went up my nose. Like, okay, like not it went up my nose, but like, no, you're supposed to use your mouth when you're eating with your nose. Just like
so, I snort the horseradish, right? Then I eat the roast beef. I throw up. I don't eat horseradish anymore.
So I stopped that day.
I haven't had it since. I don't believe in it.
Yeah, don't. Oh man, that's one of like that type of thing. Just adding that, like I don't believe in it. It's something random. That's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I know you. It's like, bro, what? About to keep those blinds closed, huh? I know you. I don't even know how you could know me in a way where that makes sense.
Yeah, get out.
Snorting Arby's. You ever snort Red Robin seasoning salt?
No, but I know someone who did.
I know many of people who did that shit.
I know somebody who did.
Watched a few people do it and lied to them like I've done it before to get them to do it.
I think I was there with you for one of those times, if I remember right.
But to be fair, I was there to start that tradition, so I just acted like I did it.
I miss Red Robin, bro. I wonder if they even do bottomless fries anymore.
Well, they were already being real skimp. They were giving you that little bottomless little metal thing with like 6 fries in it. Remember when you would sit at your table, they'd be like, basket of fries? Yes. Then if you had a big table, you would have 2 baskets. They just didn't even care. Now they're like, let's make sure he's even going to order fries. I
know, bro. And this one time I went, I don't remember if I was on a date or what, but I like told the girl, I was like, listen, like if you bring me fries, like I'm going to take care of you. And she brought me the fries. But then at the end, I was like, I don't know if I tipped her $15 or whatever. And I was like, it wasn't even worth it. Like I just spent figuring out like part of your price you're already paying is for the fries. Yeah. I paid an extra $10. I'm like, I'm a sucker. But there's something about feeling like the man and having bottomless fries that just hits you. It's like you get caught up in the moment.
Dude, right when they got away from the basket, I knew they were up to no good. Like, come on, have some respect for your boys.
And this is the dirty part. Though. Is like, how much does a basket of fries cost? 10 cents.
Y'all out
keep
here
them coming, bro.
Man.
But it is what it is. You want to read a couple listener mails?
Now these days, man, they won't even give you the right cups anymore for the strawberry lemonades. What are those called? That's gonna make me mad if I can't.
You're gonna have to look it up because my head's gone. Oh yeah, RG said horsey sauce and Arby's sauce together is dangerous. He would know, bro. He was out there slanging all those.
Slanging. That dude had all the random jobs. Freckle lemonade before I even found
Freckle lemonade. There you go. Plug.
I love that when you do it like right before.
So we got some listener mail. I was working on how I'm gonna intro that. How it's gonna be part of a segment. You're gonna. Once we get it finished, like you're gonna have to ask me a question, and then I'm gonna have to like it's gonna be like somehow we lead into listener mail. Like you'll ask me a random question, and then like maybe I'll start humming or something, and you'll ask me again, and then I'm gonna start singing the listener mail song.
I was gonna say we need to just record it and have a little button.
That would be pretty good.
It just plays because I could easily have it on here as like a little thing and just boop. We just gotta find like
mail. That's like the tune. It's like all
right. We gotta. I feel like we could put that together real quick too because I have like a Logic Pro on here, so we'll pull out a little keyboard or something and mess with it and do something. Especially since you have like the melody.
When your girl hits you up at night, you call it listener mail, and like we just got a random one like.
Oh, that would be good.
Write us a listener mail. So let's see what we got on listener mail. We read through a lot of these, and you guys suck at sending us more.
Oh yeah, what was your mom's that she asked? Because she wanted us to talk about that last time. What's your least favorite childhood outfit?
Did your mom ever force you to wear any clothes you hated, but she would make you wear them?
Regular clothes, bro. When she wouldn't let me wear like my ninja geese and stuff, I was hot. Nah. Not that I could think of, man. My mom did really well. And then pretty early on, that was like the one thing that I got that I was spoiled on was shoes. So I used to get a lot of, like I got into Jordans pretty early and would get Jordans. And so not like, I can't think of, she definitely had me in corduroys before I liked corduroys. Now I love them. I got ugly stuff, like normal kids, but not that that I could think she really forced me to wear. I think haircuts, I had some rough cuts back in the day. My brother talked me into not buying Kobe's in 6th grade. I didn't buy them, but like getting Kobe's, I was going to get the new Adidas Kobe's, the one that looked like moon boots. Like those ugly ass shoes. So I got these Vince Carters instead. And then my mom didn't let me take them to Sly Park. And that was sad. And then I thanked her when I got back because all my shoes were ruined from Sly Park.
That was some pretty good insight there.
So what you got? I thought my 6th grade self knew.
Well, my mom used to make us wear sandals, which to this day, I don't wear sandals, bro. I don't wear slides. I don't wear anything my toes show. And I have decent feet, but I don't believe in it. I don't know if it's because of what my mom did to me, but to this, like, I don't own a pair of any kind of slippers, like sandals, flip-flops, none of it. None of it.
You are just traumatized.
And she would make like in the 90s. Oh, this reminds me of another thing. Modern kids.
So you don't have any grill slippers? You don't have those classic grill sandals?
Nope. No. I bought when I went to when I go to Hawaii, I take a pair of flip flops, but I hate them. I hate when they slap the bottom of your feet. I hate the obnoxious everything about them. I hate. But what my mom would make us wear.
What about Crocs? Would you wear Crocs?
Braided.
I love me some Crocs, man.
No, I wouldn't wear Crocs either.
Oh, they're so flat. But your toes, well, you could see your toes through the holes. And you could get Croc charms. You could get you some Trump Croc charms. What do I have on mine right now? I have a shredder, like from Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Well, you looked at me like I was talking about
for a second, shredder. I was like,
you're a real corporate dude. I have that, and then I have like a Nipsey Hussle on one. Yeah, I need to get some more. I'm about to order some though. You can order a bunch from Amazon.
My mom used to make us wear these. I'll show it to you, and then I'll see if I can make it bigger. Like those kind.
Yeah, those are like those grill sandals right there.
I don't know if
I'm way behind. See those?
So she would make us wear those, and she would make us wear the same type of braided belts.
Were you wearing light color pants?
Yep, khaki pants, and then like it was like a yellow, blue, and green shirt. I remember the outfit still.
Dude, oh man!
I'll see if my mom can find a picture.
You ever watch when Drake hosted the ESPYs?
No, I've never watched the ESPYs.
If you haven't watched at least the skits, you should watch the skits. Drake is a real funny dude, but he did a song with Brian McKnight called "Side Pieces." And he's in a get up. I'll actually show you that. I'll look it up on here so I can show you by phone. Dang, I missed the part where you just showed your phone too to see if you can see it.
If they can, they can. Also, while he's looking that up, everyone who's watching, I've read this thing, bro. You're not even gonna believe don't forget what you're saying, but like, it was crazy. I read that it doesn't actually cost any money to like, share, and subscribe to videos. Did you know that?
Dude, I was hearing that because I felt like based on the lack of like, share, and subscribe that it costs. I was going to say what I probably wouldn't pay for my friends, $25 or so.
I was thinking.
Because, $20 is a little, probably not going to pay unless we're close friends.
But I wouldn't do that either.
I mean, a couple bucks even, I would expect some
when you found out it was the bargain of the century and it was free.
Yeah. And not even for a little while. That's like constantly, it's free. They could do it anytime.
Oh, so it's not a promotion.
No, they could do it anytime.
It's not a buy one, get one type thing.
Like, share, and subscribe. But I brought up this outfit because my man was out there rocking them sandals you had.
Oh, my God, bro. Why is he dressed up looking like Moses, bro?
I'm telling you, watch that. The song is funny. He brings out Brian McKnight. It's also funny because he's hosting the ESPYs and SP is side pieces.
Oh, look at
I only know that because he says king of the ESPYs, and I was like, Brian McKnight, I don't think I've ever seen him on the ESPYs before. Oh, side pieces.
That's pretty meta. Good for them. What were we even talking about? Oh yeah, that was my mom's question. So yeah, she would always make us wear outfits we didn't like, and then she would get offended that we didn't like them, and then force us to wear them, and then take pictures of us frowning and being upset. But now we grow up. So
you don't even show them.
I think that's why I don't care about clothes anymore. Like I think that's why I have no fashion sense and why I don't spend money on clothes is for what she did to me. I think there was a last
thing. Alex said you got pictures. We need to see some of them pics.
He said I can confirm the sandal scandal.
Dude,
thanks for tuning in, Alex. I didn't know you were gonna watch it.
Dang, you had them chunkless on.
Chunkless.
That's one of the first Spanish words I ever learned.
So a couple quick listener mails.
What else you got?
We're at. Let me see. We're at.
Hell alone.
How far are we?
An hour.
110 already. Okay. So so Michael asked, how much money has RG bummed off me? It's in the thousands for sure. Thousands of dollars. And he just quits. He no call, no showed last week. So
he did.
He's not getting a recommendation. And if I have anything to do with it, he'll never work in the podcast industry again.
So you're in a blackball.
Well, you saw his post.
Like Gina Carano.
He called himself a Jew, literally. So I had to. The blowback would just be too much. Our corporation just can't handle that.
He also called you a ragamuffin. Dude, that's the worst part. It's like Disney, bro. Disney. Like, yeah, Disney, what are you worried about?
Under a lot of scrutiny right now.
You really are. You're being. Come on, like you're legit being that. And this is what I mean. Like, if there's a company that could really take a stand right now and be like, we're going to stand by what we believe in and not get pushed by a mob, it's probably Disney. Maybe Amazon, right?
Well,
like,
you know,
come on.
You know that
I don't want to get
there's like rumors that Walt Disney was like a fascist, like pro.
Oh, yeah.
Pro.
He's so, like, they even like famous people who are into fascism like quote that, right? Like, they even look at him as an idol. And
I think that Disney's like, they pull them aside and listen, we'll get you a lot of stuff, but we can't have people looking at Walt Disney like this. It's like, you cannot talk no Holocaust, nothing, period.
But my thing is like, I mean, keeping her to like, this isn't even someone she's not even the star of the show.
Well, she was allegedly going to get a spinoff, but I don't know if that's one of those things that they say after you are, after you break up with your girl, like, we were just about to have a threesome too, just so you know.
Yeah, what's the reverse of sour grapes? That's like the reverse of sour grapes. Like, you were going to get a positive. I don't know if you know that.
Sorry.
That's legit the opposite of I'm pregnant. Yeah. The opposite of I'm pregnant. You were about to get a threesome on your birthday 2 days ago. That's sad.
Sorry. Yeah, forget. I know this is supposed to be family friendly. I apologize. It was just too good to not.
All right. What other fan mail? Do we have real fan mail that's not?
Yeah, sorry.
I feel like Michael asked a bunch of questions.
So what other stuff? So his were pretty quick. When are you going to get a real table? Once you guys like, share, and subscribe.
That's fair. Yeah, you don't. Come on, don't hate. Haters gonna hate.
What books are you reading? I actually grabbed them.
Oh yeah, I'm the worst, man. I'm still reading The Second Machine Age.
Bro, my son really. I had my books sat down like this for no reason, just to hold my spot, right?
Mm.
For no reason at all, he comes and picks it up and sets it down. No reason, just like walking by.
It's like, I don't like it.
And I'm like,
that's that little bit. Everyone has that little bit of OCD in them, and that's like, I always love it because I'm not OCD at all. But there's sometimes I catch myself where I'm like, I don't like that. That doesn't look right.
So I don't know my page, but The Count of Monte Cristo, Alexander Dumas, a black French guy.
Never gonna read that.
Same writer
until I buy that version of it.
Same writer as what else did he write? The Three Musketeers and one other one. Don't care. The Holy Bible, King James Version.
Nice. I still need to get the Bible. What's that?
Ishmael. It's a something.
Dang, you reading all those?
And then this one, I just started it. It's a philosophy book. It's a lot. I thought it was like pop philosophy, like popular, like kind of like a, like a bestseller type. Like, oh, it's easy to read. But this is Heidegger, which turns out to be like one of the densest books ever. So I made like 15 pages, and
we still need to read Lenin too.
We haven't even started. And then this is.
I'm gonna finish this book this week, man.
Which one?
I'm ready to start a new one, The Second Machine Age, which I've loved. Honestly, I love it. It's such a good book.
And it makes a lot of sense. Tell you to read that?
No. Andrew Yang. I was watching an Andrew Yang video. They talk about that, and I had talked to Sutherland about it though. But what's the other book? I can't remember it, but I bought that book too, so I'm gonna read that.
So The Second Machine Age. was a book that I think Sutherland had read it, but it was when me and him were at we went to that Gavin Newsom conference together, and Gavin Newsom brought it up. Like, you have to read this book. And so I think afterwards, Sutherland had told me like he had read it, or somehow we were talking about it, and I think I bought it and never read it as well. But
that's one of the books I want to read next because it aligns with that same thing. Is Age of Discord is another book I want to read. Think I've ever heard. It's like about 10,000. He like documented 10,000 years of human history and like the ebbs and flows of conflict. So it seems pretty interesting, and where we are and where he thinks we'll go based on it. And from what I read about it, because I think it was the same thing, like listening to a podcast that I heard about it, it like talks about where they think the bumper is in terms of collectivism in there, in terms of like where we're going to hit a wall. And it's either we're going to have a civil war or we're going to all start to agree, where it's like we have more in common than we have different. So we'll see.
That's I was thinking about this the other day, bro, because I was thinking about like all this COVID stuff and the government and like conspiracy theories and stuff. And like, let's pretend we live in a world where like, we could argue the numbers, but like, let's say it was known that in 200 years, there will be too many humans, and it'll be like one of those movies where like the whole world turns into a dust bowl. And like people have to live, like we let's just pretend like we know that's inevitable. Mm-hmm. And like, let's pretend Bill Gates believes in that. And like, and I'm not saying he does, but let's this is all pretend. And like, he is taking steps to like lower the human population and like control the speed at which we multiply. And again, I'm not saying, but let's pretend.
So are you saying,
would he be a good guy or would he be a bad guy in your opinion?
So you're saying what's reality? He has spoke against population control, and
he said it, but I'm not.
And he's also coming up with a vaccine to increase population.
Okay, well, you're forcing my hand here, but
just using the idea. Yeah, I guess that would take into what I find as what's the positive? Like, am I okay with looking at the fact that if we kill millions now, it will save millions later? That's a hard thing to look at. It's easier to look at the now. So I would say murdering people now or, infecting them now is.
That's kind of like the Thanos dilemma, right? Like Thanos thinks he's a good guy, right?
I thought they did a good job of selling him as a good guy.
Yeah, because he just has a different perspective of time or
exactly. That's what it is. That's what it is, because people don't want to accept being a bad guy now to be a good guy later. It's easier to be a bad guy. Deal with the bridge when you get there, even if you end up, because you're not going to view yourself as a bad guy. You're going to view yourself as there was nothing you can do.
Right. So, but like,
which is wrong.
So then what? Like, let's pretend that mathematically Thanos or Bill Gates, it's a mathematical fact that if their plan worked in this hypothetical world, they would save more lives than they took. So what's the objection? And I'm putting you on the spot when I've thought about it and you haven't. So,
yeah, I think the objection is killing people who are alive for people who aren't alive yet, or for something that, because I guess that's like, how do you define it as fact? Like, can something in the next, if it's, you're going to kill people now,
right.
This is looking into details, right? But like,
no,
if you're going to kill people now, it's going to save people 20 years from now. Is there any wrench that could happen in 20 years that changes that fact?
Right.
Because that's now gambling, and it's
right.
not going off of mathematical facts. It's going off of a mathematical fact using now to still gamble, like counting cards. Like, you could count cards and still lose, right?
Yeah. No, that's an awesome point. And that's not even where I was going to go. So I give you credit for coming up with that on the spot.
But
that's a great point.
How do you feel about it?
Because, you're 100% right. Like, that's implied in it that like, and it kind of ties in with what I said or what I was going to say, which is like, my problem with it is that like one guy is making the choice for a civilization without feedback.
Scary, dude.
But your point ties right in with it, because like, we don't know all the facts. So like, you get to make the decision, this imaginary guy,
who we decided to name Bill Gates
only for purpose of ease of use. There's no, there's not a shorter name than Bill Gates. So I only picked that because of the amount of syllables. That was it. There's no other reason.
It just makes sense. I don't. Bill rolls straight off your tongue. Gates makes.
But
basically, I was looking at a dollar bill. I walked through a gate, so we're using that name.
But yeah, so I was just thinking about that. Like, is it the fact that like we feel that our choice was, violation of choice, but or that like maybe he could be wrong, like that I think that's a big part. Like because we always weigh like risk reward, and it's like if you like the cost of now, what if you're wrong? Like the risk shoots up and the reward drops, and like you're making this decision, and it's a big deal. But it's just
because that's what it is, right? Like if you because you would have to look at a number, right? So if we're at, we got to kill off, let's just call it 10 mil. So we got to kill off 10 million people. That's the best thing. You would have to have like for what though, right? Because at this marker, we would have saved more lives. If you get to that marker and you were still on the trajectory you were originally at, if you didn't kill the 10 million, then it's real. Like, it's like, what do we do now? Do we kill it? And that's where it could, and I think what we keep doing as a government, not we, but our government does is like Band-Aid. Let's slap another Band-Aid. Let's slap a Band-Aid. And they never like take them all off and look, and they're like, we could have just stitched this thing up and moved on. Or maybe we needed to just chop that thing off.
Because you're like, oh, bro, this hasn't seen air in it. Like, it's infected now.
Yeah.
Like our Band-Aids have killed it.
And that's why I mess with Gary Johnson and the, make a law, remove a couple. Like, there has to be laws we can remove at this. If we have to keep making new laws, let's just go remove some weird ancient laws about things we don't use anymore. Beeper laws we probably put into, law. Like, there has to be some we need to just get rid of. And I don't mean like, let's make a law to repeal it. Let's repeal it in total.
Yeah. I had a teacher, I think it was Mr. Watson, who would it wasn't like a religious thing, but like periodically he would be like, just so you know, on like, it's Tuesday, so in Arkansas, you can't ride an elephant down Main Street.
Oh yeah, the random laws. Yeah,
because like how is that still on the books?
And we keep them, right? That's actually a funny thing to talk about. Maybe we should do
a random law segment.
Yeah,
write that down.
Because dude, there's so many. No intoxicated skiing.
I like Chris's point though.
No lewd and I don't know how to say that word.
Lascivious.
Lascivious, thank you. Lascivious behavior before marriage is illegal.
Bro, there's some states where like adultery is still illegal. Like we should look those up. I'm almost.
I guess no intoxicated skiing doesn't seem that bad, but it's still like.
Why?
If you wrote that into the law.
Imagine if you're drunk. You said skiing, right?
Skiing, yeah.
That feel good.
Oh,
just throw a dip right in your mouth right before you go down.
What's crazy is you can easily tell it's the dudes with no jacket on. They're just out there running hot.
Steam is coming off them like Rock Lee, bro.
Dude, exactly. They just got gum in their mouth. Oh, speaking of that, Michael asked that. That's one of my favorite fights of all time, man. Rock Lee, drunk Rock Lee versus Kimimaro.
That's a classic.
I think it's because I wasn't a huge, and I knew this before I watched through Naruto that you were a huge Rock Lee guy, and I'm not a Rock Lee guy at all. But drunken Rock Lee, huge fan. Yeah, sorry for anyone who hasn't watched it.
And then him versus Gaara.
That was good too. That was good too. But that was because I like Gaara.
When he drops the weights, that's one of the most iconic scenes. I might get that tattooed on me, right? Because that's how I feel sometimes when I drop the weights on people.
Still a law in Washington. It's illegal to kill Bigfoot.
Well, that's fair, bro.
They wrote it into
that's
law.
Probably where he's at. As of 2017, I'm assuming things may have changed. The U.S. states with laws against adultery are Arizona, Florida, Kansas, Illinois, Massachusetts, Oklahoma, Idaho, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Utah. So
not only you get divorced, you go to jail. Or is it just pay fines instead?
I don't know.
That'd be laughs if you're in jail. Like, what happened? Cheated on my wife. Like, what?
No, bro, because the women's prisons would be full in all of those states.
You're about to get canceled. Dude, so in Virginia, it's illegal to hunt on Sunday. Bro, it's illegal to hunt on Sundays unless you're killing raccoons. Dude, God. It's illegal in Vermont to prohibit clotheslines. So you have to allow people to put their... I want to know if that means anywhere. Can I just throw up a clothesline on the street? Like, sorry, hanging up my stuff, and you're just having people fall over it.
Bro, we'll save some. I want to have a segment. We should do a segment.
Well, these are just like random ones too. So it's like one per state. So I know there's a...
Well, we should start doing like every episode we have random law section.
All right, I'm going to say this last one because this one's funny. You can't hold public office if you've ever been in a duel. That's part of a Tennessee law. It's part of their constitution.
Dude, they should bring duels back.
That'd be laughs.
What did you? I don't think we talked about it on this. We might have because it was at the time. But when that dude challenged his wife's divorce lawyer to a duel,
no, I haven't even read.
Bro, I almost did it, bro. This man's getting too bold. Like, you want to keep talking, bro? meet me at Robert Frost. If you really feel this way, meet me at Robert Frost, bro. At 6
and catch a duel, bro.
Catch these hands. But
dude, that's just a funny thing now. Hey, holla at your boy, 6 p.m. dueling. Come check it out. And you just got.
Bro, could you imagine just?
There's no way because you would never be able to follow duel rules. You know, like you can't just have a doctor out there and he doesn't know. You've been tweeting about your duel. You're about to have everybody's there, dude. This is speaking of this type of stuff. I have not felt nostalgia in a way since I was chilling in my apartment, working. It's a work day, and I hear fight, 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 fight. I was like, am I about to start following a crowd? I'm just zombie mode. At first, I was like, I heard kids fighting outside. I was like, not paying attention to it. Like I could hear. I was like, man, I could be a nosy neighbor. I'm not gonna be a nosy neighbor. Then I heard the fight chant, and I was like, gotta go see what's going on. They were out there getting after it. It's like, oh man, that brings me back. That classic.
Bro, Michael, I should say, brings up a good point. If I challenge her divorce lawyer and he just whoops my ass.
Oh, that's rough, man.
Bro, that could be the worst. Because you got to think, if that was a thing, lawyers would start training MMA because they would get challenged all the time.
Because that would be so funny when he was like, I thought this happened a week ago, but it looks like today you got served. And walks off. Dude, even worse, if you haven't been served, if you get pieced up and they drop the papers on your like comatose body. Oh man.
Oh god.
But it'd be so much better though. Like that's what I feel like is half the problem, especially with social media and people getting to hype. Like, there's really not like people used to just get socked up pretty regularly just for random stuff and probably stuff they didn't deserve. So I'm not mad about people not getting socked up for stuff they don't deserve.
Bro, the comments are lit with this shit.
But come on, man. Dude, seriously, bro. Now you're in court talking about what happened. And then the lawyer brings it up before you get to bring it up. Yeah, he
brings it up as evidence. He challenged me to a duel this just for no reason. The judge is laughing.
Dude, then your lawyer's like, don't worry, I got you. He stands up and like, clearly didn't hit her, Your Honor. Look at my man. He can't fight.
So we can just throw out the domestic violence now. Look at him.
Yeah, look. Did you see the way he threw his arms with his palms out straight? Dude, that is
jeez, my head, my whole head. Oh God. Oh jeez. So sorry, man. That got out of hand. That was beautiful.
That would be a cold world, though, bro. He just socked you up.
Well, like I said, they would be trained because that would be part of becoming a lawyer is like self-defense. They'd know Krav Maga or something.
Well, they'd have to do. Imagine like you're on trial for a murder. Like, there's no way you're not gonna be like, duel me. Like, do you really want to duel that dude? Like, yeah, yes, I do. I've been training for this.
But then
when you're just getting arms broken, yeah, you'd have to.
Oh, I challenge opposing counsel. It's not even the lawyer. They just tap in some Chris Lieben type guy. And he just
like trial by combat, right? Like, I want trial by combat. Like, all right, cool. I got a guy. He's going to fight for me. Who's going to fight for you? I was gonna fight myself, but
just pro champions.
They would make, oh man, that would move so high up in the food chain. They'd make so much money. They'd make buku bucks, bro. When you're just having to defend, because
it would just Bridgerton.
Yeah, I did. I have now.
That put the way they did that. No spoiler alert. Anyone, if you haven't watched Bridgerton, I'm not going to go that hard.
Yeah, but
the way they did that that dueling part was pretty good. Like, because I don't know why. Like, I never really thought it was that serious, but like the way they set it up was like. No, bro. Like, I don't know. They did a good job. That was a good show.
Yeah, you gotta watch Hamilton because they do a better job.
I'll never watch Hamilton my whole life.
I know you're a hater. And they do it with like the Crack Commandments, that Biggie song. Crack Commandments. They do the 10 dual commandments slapper. But no, they definitely did a good job in that. I thought they did too. They did a good job of making it modern in that. I was laughing with Brie because I was like, you gotta watch it. It's good, and I feel like it's up your alley. But it definitely had like that. Soap opera vibe to it, and she was like, "Yeah, that's Shonda Rhimes," and I was like, "Oh, I didn't even realize that's who wrote it."
Bro,
she does like scandals like that too.
Where, was that she did Scandal?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. It's a good show. We'll save it. This is a good segment for next. We're at the end of our rope here. Yeah. I'll write that down. Bridgerton. Did you have any closing? We're at 1:31. I was trying not to go this long.
Oh, yeah. I think I had a quote just in case. I wanted to at least make sure I had that. I talked about that. And I got this from a show, too, but I still thought it was a good one. So, we're going to talk about this right before we end. Actually, I'll say my quote, and then we'll talk about this because it's going to be short, and also it's criminal, and we talked about fast food again today. So, first, an inconvenience is an unrecognized opportunity.
That's a fact. Yeah, man, that's good.
Which is good. But before you go into like just pumping people up, Irby asked us to talk about this. So we'll end with this and then go. How do you feel about charging for condiments at fast food restaurants?
That's a great question. I think it's terrible. I hate when they charge me for ranch, and I hate when it's real awkward when I've already paid and I'm like, oh, I need a hot sauce.
And they're like, it's extra.
It's 59 cents. First of all, make it an even quarter or an even 50 cents with no tax. For just out of respect.
Yeah.
Second,
especially since you put your own pricing on it.
Yeah. Second, just give it to me. Build it into your cost. Like, just build it into your cost. Throw one in my bag and take that L. Third, if you own a Mexican restaurant and you don't have a salsa bar, you don't deserve to have a free salsa bar.
You're now an American restaurant. You're welcome. Trying to be a Mexican restaurant.
You're Chipotle. I'll go to Chipotle instead. I require free chips, free guac, free red sauce, free green sauce. That's all I would. That's it.
These people acting like sauce comes directly out of their paycheck is the craziest thing to happen to the 21st century.
Bro,
and I know I'm over exaggerating.
No, you're not. But I think that's the underpinnings of kind of our societal downfall.
It's like, seriously, dude. Like, that's where COVID came from. When they realized that they either had to pay extra for a sauce or eat a bat, they ate the bat. It's crazy. Like, dude, that is... How many times do you think you've gotten tacos where they gave you less sauces than tacos?
How many times do I think I've gotten tacos where I got less? I mean, a lot of times where I didn't get enough sauce. You're saying?
Yeah, but like even like not because I'm in two salsa, right?
Yeah.
Per
so you
taco.
Need 4 sauces for 2 tacos.
They'll give me. I'll be honest. I'm not really getting 2 tacos probably ever, but like I'll get 6 tacos with 5 sauces. And I'm like,
no, that's wrong. And then you have to run back
I'm about to do?
And do like the toothpaste maneuver on each one, and it's wrong. And you get more germs. And like you said, the COVID thing. What are you going to do now?
It's so criminal almost, man. But I remember when McDonald's started that, and you're just like, "Dude, I ordered 20 nuggets. What am I about to do with this one sweet and sour?"
Hold on, I got to address something. I didn't say free guac. I said free green sauce. Multiple people have said it. I'm saying red sauce, green sauce, pico. Maybe I said guac. I'm sorry. I did say guac, didn't I? Damn it.
I don't know. I don't remember that. But...
Pico, not guac. I need pico, red sauce, green sauce, chips. That's all I ask for.
Dude, seriously. Mike was not going to have it and dump ketchup in the trash just to let him know. Seriously. You know who doesn't do that? In-N-Out, bro. You go to In-N-Out, you be like, let me get 19 spreads. They'd be like, 19 sounds great.
I threw an extra one in there for you, sir. Like,
20 sounded like a better number. What are you about to do? They don't ask you what are you going to do with those.
It was me who said guac. I meant pico. Sorry. But yeah, they don't care. Sir, you didn't even order any French fries. Like, what are you going to do with these? Like, they don't say a word. They don't bother you.
Like, you don't have to go in there timid.
Exactly. But some certain Mexican food restaurants, bro, if I want to put my pico in a fucking, I'm sorry, if in a chip boat, bro, do they give you a bonus if there's pico left in here at the end of the night?
You would swear.
Let me eat it, bro.
They be out there counting up the sauces like, this earned your boy. And it must be a lot too, because it's not a couple cents. They be like, this earned your boy $10. This earned your boy $10.
Bro, and they're commenting about the beans. I don't know where I think it was Garcia's, and I think they opened back up.
They for sure opened back up because that's my mom's favorite place. And
I was stressed when they said they closed for COVID. I thought they meant closed for good.
If you want to talk about a heavy margarita pourer, Garcia's is the place. You drink a little bit of like, you get a tiny bit of margarita stuff in your tequila. Like it's
bro, you know what? We were sponsored by Prime Walk 2 weeks ago.
Garcia's today, bro.
We need to have a meet and greet at Garcia's. You think they'll give us some free stuff? We get like 3 people to show up.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, will you give us some free stuff if we bring a bunch of people? We have 3 people. They're like, is this your whole party?
You have to pay for the room because we could have rented this out to someone.
Seriously.
But no, because they'd have my point of bringing them up, they'd have 2 different sauces you could pick up, and their bean dip was heat, and it was nonstop.
Oh, so, no, that's, you know who used to have the fire one? Chris is talking about El Tapatio, but El Torritos used to have the fire bean dip, and those are getting closed down these days too.
El Tap on Sunrise. Chris is right. Chris and Alex both love that spot.
I love that. Their carne asada is pretty heat. I like that place too. I'll be getting their little fajitas too. The one that got all 3 of them.
Mexican food spots in this area? Natomas, North Natomas. There's really not, huh?
Not that or there's one Mezcal right by me is actually pretty good.
They don't have a salsa bar.
RG told us. I haven't been inside there though. I just get stuff to go. They give me salsa to go and stuff though. Salsa and guac. Yeah, they give us salsa and guac to go.
Dang, we're at 1:37 and we started late. Sorry, my mom's watching the kids. I just don't want to keep her here all night.
They talking about Felipe's too. Dang, you guys are making me hungry. So, man. But what you got? Positive stuff to end the show. What's up? Give us some motivation.
I don't have anything written down. So I'm just going to say that I love you guys. Love each other.
This is also a pretty good beer. Chai milk stout.
Yep. If you drink those, life will be better.
Or alcoholic.
Respect yourself. Forgive yourself. You're a good person. We all make mistakes. Let it go and move on.
Yeah, man. We need to get over that age where like, when stuff is good, you don't run to tell people how good it is. But with one negative thing, and this, I mean more from reviews, cancel culture, it's like one negative thing and you run to go do it. Like, let's be more positive. Let's give flowers more. Let's, if you have a good experience, let's go leave good reviews. Let's do positive stuff, Let's not try to ruin everybody's lives. Let's start making people's lives, or at least making people's days. I'm going to leave it there, man. Just with how we started the show, there's just so much negative stuff that everyone focuses on. There's so much positive in the world. That's one of the things me and you always talk about is like the reason it's getting worse and worse is we have less and less stuff to complain about. So we're now like taking it super extreme. Most of us, if you're watching us, you're doing better than a lot of people are doing because you have some type of computer or some type of mobile device that allows you to see video and do this type of thing. So just stay positive. We appreciate all of you as always. We'll appreciate you a little bit more if you like, share, subscribe, and continue to watch the videos. But please just take, we're not the best at advertising when the videos are going to come, but no, we plan to do them Thursday at 6 every single week. We'll update you if we're not going to do it Thursday at 6. We feel good being back and want to continue to do these shows for you. Other than that,
I want to say a quick thank you, Ryan, Michael, Michaela, Chris, tapping in. Thanks, Chris. Shout
Alex
out to our
was
boy.
Here.
Alex, who is there? I mean, they were all
my brother Jimmy was in here.
Jimmy slid in
in there with a just quick haha. They're
my
right.
cousin Bree, who you shouted out earlier.
Yeah.
Shout out to my cousin. She's all the way out there in damn near Nashville, Tennessee. So it's good to see you, cuz. I love you. Thank you for tuning in. And you can subscribe on YouTube. We have a YouTube page, everybody. Just so you know.
Let her know. She's been in a duel. No running for public office. We're definitely doing a segment of that next week, though.
We have to. I had a lot of fun this episode.
And next week, we're talking about Helen Keller.
Bro, how do we argue about Gina Carano for 40 minutes? When me and you get in an argument, it's just bound to be useless for 40 minutes.
Yeah, we just take stuff way further than what the initial conversation needed to be about. Like, it was like, is this offensive to what is she really saying in this? And
what is offense?
Then we analyzed it. But, I mean, that's more than a lot of people get, you know? And I'm fine
I think
with
it's good to just explore ideas sometimes. We took that one a little far. If only we had a producer to tell us.
Because that's the funniest part. Is like initially we were at a spot where we both agreed on everything about it, and then we're like, let's argue about something.
Yeah, we gotta find something here.
Yeah, so we found a part we disagreed on and argued it. So that was cool.
But
and maybe if we had a producer.
Yeah, just someone to kind of help us out and let us know and with some creative ideas. But anyway, love you guys. We'll see you next week. Let's just plan on being here Thursday at 6. We had some small malfunctions. It should be 6 sharp next week. We got them figured out. Love you. Thank you. Namaste. Assalamu alaikum. All praise be to the Most High Allah.
Arigato. That's probably offensive, so wish us luck. Hope we don't get canceled. To the 7 people still viewing, we appreciate you.
I think, all right. Now,
and
I think we